I am a local Topekan. I am an advocate for growth and development and change. And I believe that Topeka has the potential to thrive as a whole, not only District 3, but if we come together in unification, we can restore, revitalize, and transform this community. I see us having the potential, but I see this being a season that the potential can be released, because Topekans, it's your differences that make the difference. And we can do this together, one step at a time.
Do you believe increasing access to affordable housing for families making less than $40,000 a year should be a part of the city's approach to economic development?
I do believe that increasing the access to housing to all individuals in this city, safe and affordable housing to all individuals is important. When we talk about generational growth, when we talk about people having ownership and feeling connected and committed to the city, if they have their own, they're more likely to build up than to tear down. So I do believe that the dream is that council and us as a whole, as a city, we open up and give all access to that which gives them ownership here in our community.
We need more patrolling on the, on the evening hours, the PM, after night, after hours. What would you do if the police's presence in the area, on east part of town, in our part of town?
I believe as a whole, let's sit in that for a moment. When we think about policing, I tied into community policing, I tied into our relationships with the police department, with each entity, our business owners within our city, and our families. Our citizens here are very important. And so during the daytime, most of us are very busy and progressive, but during nighttime, it's allotted time for a lot of things to happen. And so we do need to establish sound patrolment in a formation of relationship within those communities where the people know who will be patrolling those areas.
My question is for the candidates and felon reform. Is there any clear path back to redemption? There are several people in our community that have made mistakes in their life and have no clear pathway back to redemption. There's job openings that people are kind of overqualified for, but they can't get back to work because of a mistake that they made in their life.
I believe in that area when we're talking about reform. When we're talking about reform and surrounding reconnection in the community in any format, we have to train and allow those who have been affected by the criminal justice system or affected by harm that has been done in the past. We have to allow them a path, right? Not only a path for healing. So when we're talking about healing, do the crime, do the time. That is allotment that I've heard said a lot. But when they come out, they need education. When they come out, they need community connections to wrap around them and to build them. A lot are entrepreneurs when we look at some of the charges that were done. And so we need the assistance with developing training programs, not only developing training programs, the allotted small businesses, the bonuses for businesses who are hiring them and wrapping around them. And as well, we need there to be a progressive plan. My belief is over 5 to 10 year period as they build and become soundly established within the community. When you think about sustainability, when you're talking about a healing process, right? A lot of times when our men and women come out of the criminal justice system, it's this belief like they're out, they should know what to do. And in reality, they're not going to know what to do. So we need sound placement that allows and assists them over a process, over a period of time, so that they can be built up and established and not easily broken once things go the opposite way.
What is the plan to get people back to work?
As I'm looking right now within our city, I believe the plan must be that we continue to support our businesses that are right here in town. Not only do we continue to support our businesses that are in town, we continue to advertise in a way that gives an opening and assistance to everyone that is needed. We continue with our training process. We have opened up Washburn Technical School over in East Topeka area. We need to make sure that people are getting soundly trained where they can make an adequate wage, right? So it's one thing to go make a wage where you're making less than you need to live off of, but it's another thing when you are working in a field and trained in a field that you can prosper in and be able to make a livable expense, a livable wage that you're able to soundly live and not struggle within the community. So it's very important that we open up and wrap around not only the small businesses, not only our large businesses, but we wrap around community members to get them trained and developed and adequately placed in positions where they can thrive at.
There's a lot of street improvement that needs to be done. I wanted to know what are you going to do about that?
As I partner with not only other city council members when I step into the position, as I partner with them, we will do the work with local contractors to get the infrastructure fixed and have a plan established where we can continue to look into the areas of what is needed. Not that we fix one street and we walk away from it for years down the road. Then getting sound equipment when we're coming in and materials when we're doing the work on the streets. I've seen that we've done a lot of work in Topeka on streets, but I've seen those streets deteriorate at a quick level, a high level, and it's confusing to me with the amount of money that has been invested in those areas.
We don't have any stores to shop over here. We have a Dollar Tree and a Dollar General. We don't have any grocery stores.
How would you go about trying to see that we get more fresh vegetables in the neighborhood?
We have already talked about, our campaign team has talked about a community garden. I know several people who have a green thumb within the community who have spoken about it. But the other thing we're looking at, when we look at the Food for Less area, the old Food for Less area down there and that territory still being accessible to have building done to it where we can take and place small businesses, entrepreneurial businesses in that area where we can provide for clothing, provide food projects. We looked at working on a vegan formation of food to sell in the area where we can do different things, right? But a lot of what we need is right here in the city of Topeka. It's just giving the resources that are needed, right? And the opportunity for those small business owners, those entrepreneurs, those creators to come out and advertise a small, unique product right here in our community. If we connect together and invest in one another instead of investing outside of Topeka, outside of the community, we can bring a lot of the revenue back into our city. Not only bring in the revenue, but we can support who we have here. When we support them, they thrive, they go higher, they do more, they're able to develop a better product. I believe as city council members, it's very important that we assist our community members in thriving purposely, whether it's through health or having fresh food available to them, or whether it is in us investing in finding a way, a program to invest in those small business owners and in the refurbishing and restoring of the infrastructure that are in those communities. My name is Regina Platt, and I'm running for City Council District Seat 3.